Okay, so let's get started with the first tutorial for your midterm project. First of all, let's go ahead and save your drawing. And let's save it in your project folder. And I'm going to call mine midterm. Okay, don't forget to save your project often. You do not want to lose it halfway through or towards the end. But if you do, there is a temporary file saved on your computer, but it might take a lot to locate it. But anyway, so it's just remember to save often. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is import points into our drawing. Those section corner points that we imported last time. But I want you to be aware that whatever layer is current, when you bring those points in, it will be bringing them onto that layer. So I'm going to change mine to this PNTS layer that I've created, and I'm going to go to the point creation tool. So my create point toolbar shows up, and I'm going to click on this import points tool. I'm going to add my section corner points. I'm going to add those points to a new point group that I'm going to create called section corners, and say OK. Now I'm going to zoom extend, change my scale. You might notice that my points look different than you're used to, and that is because I've gone into my settings on the tool space under points and point styles and label styles. Under standard label styles, I've changed, all I've done is changed the color of the text for point numbers, point elevations, and point descriptions. So just so you know how I did that, but you're not asked to do that. I just did it because I wanted to. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to subdivide a section. And you've probably learned how to do these or in your law class or on your job. But I'm going to show you how to do it easily in AutoCAD. Change your layer first of all to the SL layer. That is for your section lines. And now we're going to create a line by point object. Now you can just go along selecting the point, and as you do, it creates a line. And you just select the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and so on, and so you've gone all the way around the section. Now I'm going to right click twice to exit out of that command completely, and then I'm going to go back into it to pick up from here to go down here. That's going to separate the west half from the east half. Right click, go back in again to separate the north half from the south half. And now we have 4 quadrants. So the northwest quarter of the section, northeast, southeast, and southwest. Now we're going to further subdivide this section because the legal description that we're bringing in is going to be over here in this area in the southwest quarter. So we're going to now subdivide this even further. So first, go to your Modify panel and click Break at Point. And we're going to break this line here at the apparent intersection. And as you can see, it's trying to break it at the midpoint. We don't want to break it at the midpoint. But see that? It's saying parent intersection. That's when you click, because that is actually where you're subdividing is at the intersection. Now we're going to break this one, and this one now we can break at the end point because it is at the parent intersection. So now you have this section broken down, and we can further subdivide it. So now we're going to create lines from midpoint to midpoint, and again from midpoint to midpoint. Right click to end, and for me I right click again to restart that command. Okay, so our legal description says that we are to begin at the northwest corner of the seesaw. So this is the section, this is the southwest quarter of the section, and this is the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter. So this is the C of the sow. And we begin at the northwest corner of that section, so we're going to begin at this little corner here, because this is the northwest corner of the seesaw. So we need to break this one intersection down so that we have that corner point. And also note that when you use this break at point command, you cannot just right click to repeat it. For some reason it won't actually repeat that command. It'll use this command on the second time around. So each time you need to reuse this command, you have to actually come up and select it. So break at point, select the object you want to break, left click, and pick the point that you want to break it at. Make sure that you get this apparent intersection, left click, and then go back up here to select it again, choose this line, and now I can just choose the endpoint because the endpoint of that line is now the apparent intersection. Also note the apparent intersection is not a real intersection because these lines are at different elevations. So that's the only reason that we have an apparent intersection. They are not the same elevation on lines, so they don't actually intersect. So it's an apparent intersection.